If you search for almost any get paid to site on Reddit or online in general, you will quickly find threads from people saying the same thing, that they have earned money, they went to withdraw, and right before the payment came through, their account got banned. I have been testing ways to make money online for more than 10 years, and I have tested hundreds of GPT sites and survey sites, and I hear this from my audience regularly. And in this video, I want to give you the full picture because there is a lot of misleading information out there about this topic, and I think it's very important to be honest about what is actually going on. And by the end of this video, you will know why these bans happen, when they are actually a mistake, and what you can do right now to protect your account. So let's start by talking about the real reason behind most bans. And this might be a little uncomfortable for some because the reality is that the majority of account bans on get paid to sites happen for real reasons, not because the platform decided to steal your money. But when you read, for example, through hundreds of complaints on Reddit or sites like the Better Business Bureau, it might seem like most get paid to and service sites are just out to scam you. And of course, there are many scam sites, but very often the ban happens for a good reason. It can, for example, be that someone used a VPN to appear to be in a different country with better earning rates. It can be someone created a second account after the first one got limited. Someone maybe tried to complete the same offer more than once and on different platforms. And all these are just examples of violations of the terms of services. And platforms take these very seriously. And a lot of people are trying to scam the platforms, and therefore they have very strict security. If they did not have strict security, they would quickly go out of business, and then none of us could actually earn from them. And here's something else worth keeping in mind. When people post about getting banned online, they are usually really upset, and they usually leave out the part that caused the ban, not because they are lying, but because they do not always realize they did something wrong. Sometimes they do know and they just do not mention it. And just to make it completely clear, I'm of course not saying that every ban is deserved on get paid to site. It is definitely not the case, but in my opinion and experience, a large number of them are. And I have been in contact with thousands of people taking paid service and using get paid to sites from all over the world. And I've also been in contact with the owners of many survey and get paid to sites. So I know it from both sides, and I get a lot of inside information and info from users all over the world. And quite often I, for example, also hear people tell me they got banned and they are very angry about it. But when I then ask them, it turns out that, for example, they used a VPN, which will always get you banned as it is seen as fraud. So I just wanted to be honest with you about that before we go any further. So next, let's talk about when platforms get it wrong, because there are definitely sometimes legitimate accounts that are getting banned by mistake. And when this happens, it is definitely genuinely frustrating because the appeal process can sometimes be very slow and unclear. I have seen cases where platforms have had issues with the fraud detection, flagging real users who had done nothing wrong, and some even have admitted it publicly. The problem is sometimes that by the time they fix it, the damage to those accounts is already done, and the false positive cases usually follow a similar pattern. Something on your account might look unusual even though there is a completely normal explanation for it. It can, for example, be two people in the same household using the same Wi-Fi. It can be that you log in from a different device than usual. Maybe you're earning a bit faster than the average because you had a lot of time off that week or something like that. And none of these things mean fraud, but sometimes they can be triggered by an automatic system and flagged, and you never really know what will flag it. And this can also depend on the platform. So sometimes the threshold for triggering a review of an account that can vary quite a lot. I have actually tried it several times myself when I know I did nothing wrong and I still got banned. I have also tried where I got flagged and then I reached out and it got fixed because they understood it. And other times I have tried where there was just nothing to do and I just lost access to a service site without doing anything wrong. So I definitely know how frustrating it can be, and later we'll go over what you can do in those cases. So let's now talk about the timing of these account bans, because a lot of people ask me why bans seem to happen right when they try to withdraw. And that's of course a very fair question, and there is actually usually a straightforward explanation. And The reason is that many platforms, they run account reviews when a withdrawal is triggered. It is not always a human, but some kind of check happens at that moment. If anything in your account history looks off even from weeks ago, then that is in many cases when it is caught. And for accounts that have stayed clean, this is not a problem at all and you will never notice. For accounts where something suspicious happened earlier, the withdrawal is simply when it becomes visible to the system in many cases. And of course, some platforms are stricter than others, and depending on your country, the level of scrutiny can also vary, because the reality is also just that in some countries there are more people trying to cheat or use VPN and things like this. So let's now talk about how to protect your account. And here is what I suggest to do to make sure that your account does not get banned. First of all, make sure you disable your VPN before opening any Get Paid To site or any service site. And this includes VPNs that run in the background by default on your device, because some people do not realize they have one active. And sometimes if you're using a public network or something like that, it might also be on. So make sure to check that and switch it off completely before you start earning on a Get Paid To site or service site. Secondly, cash out when you reach the minimum payout threshold, especially on new sites where it's the first time you withdraw. So do not wait until you have earned a large balance before withdrawing, because regular small withdrawals, they are safer, and they also confirm that the site is actually paying out, because there are sites that do not pay. And in general, if the payout threshold is, for example, $100, $300, things like that, this is a red flag. Usually legit Get Paid To sites and service sites, they have a payout threshold of anywhere from $1 to $20 or something like that. And then especially when you first join, make sure to withdraw as soon as you can. Third, make sure to only have one account per household. So if someone else at home also uses the same platform, it can sometimes look like multiple accounts because it comes from the same IP address. Some platforms do allow this because they allow several people from the same household, but many do actually not. So this is something you need to check on the platform's terms of services before you start. And I know none of us actually wants to read through the terms of services on any platform, but now with AI it's become very easy. You can basically just copy paste it all, paste it into an AI. It can be like Grok, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever, and then ask it, is there anything about here about household? Or you can just do a search in the document itself. So make sure to check that. The fourth tip is to stay consistent with your login. So try to log in from the same device and location as much as possible. It's of course not always possible, and you can also use different devices. I do that all the time, but sudden changes can trigger a review. And definitely do not log in while traveling to another country unless you let the platform know in advance, because again, if you suddenly log in from another country, that can sometimes trigger an instant ban. And on some platforms, once you get banned, you can just not do anything. They don't even want to talk to you, unfortunately. The fifth one is to screenshot the offers you have completed, especially if it's higher paying or higher value offers, because that means if there ever is a dispute, then having some kind of proof that can make a real difference. The sixth and final tip is to use multiple platforms. I suggest if you are a beginner to use at least 5 to 7 different Get Paid To sites and service sites at the same time, and that way if something does happen with your account, your earning activity is not completely cut off. And also you need to take some time to find out which platforms works best for you and just get access to more opportunities. So it's always a good idea to use several platforms. For a start, 5 to 7. If you become experienced, you can join more. I do keep an updated list of the best Get Paid To sites I currently recommend on my website, so I'll leave a link to that in the description so you can check that out. These are sites that I have personally tested over the years and that have a solid track record of paying out, and that I have been paid by myself many times. But we also just need to talk about what to do if your account gets banned. So I just want to take a quick break and make you aware that the majority of you watching have actually not subscribed to my channel. It's an easy, free way to support me and my work. So if you could just take 1 second to hit the subscribe button and the like button for this video here, I would really appreciate it. Thank you. So let's now talk about what you do if your account gets banned. So if this does happen to you and you believe it was a mistake, then contact the support as quickly as you can. But make sure to keep the message calm and factual. Explain what happened, include any screenshots you have, and ask for a review. An aggressive tone that usually slows things down, and I know sometimes frustration can take over and it's completely understandable, but if you write an angry message, then in some cases you will actually just completely get banned. So do not write them and accuse them of scamming you or stealing your money or anything like that. Just keep it calm and factual, because many accounts that are banned by mistake, they do get restored if you have done nothing wrong and they can see that it was a mistake by their side or a mistake from your side. But it can take a few days, so you do need some patience. If the platform does not respond after a couple of attempts, then filing a complaint, for example through a public review site or Better Business Bureau or something like that, that can sometimes get their attention. That's of course not guaranteed to work, but it is worth trying if you are confident that your account was clean and that you have done nothing wrong. If you can still not get your account back, and that does happen in some cases, I've tried that myself, then the best you can do is to try to learn from it. If you made a mistake, do not do that on other platforms. If you did not make a mistake, as mentioned, I've tried that myself, then it can feel very unfair, and I've tried losing money like this, not being able to get paid several times, but it does not help you to keep being angry about it, and it should not stop you from keep earning on other platforms and keep earning online in general. You can leave honest reviews on review sites. You're also welcome to always here on my channel here in the comments or on my website where I have hundreds of reviews. Go there and share your experiences. Just do it honestly, as mentioned, keep it fair in a proper tone. You're always welcome to do that, and that can be a way to also get your opinion out there and warn others if there's something to warn against. And then once you've done that, then just move on, focus on other sites, other earning methods, and then keep earning. And if you have any experiences about getting banned or getting your account back or not getting your account back, please feel free to share it in the comments below here. I would love to hear your experiences. What did you do? What happened? How did you deal with it? I love hearing your experiences. And if you have any questions, also just ask. I make sure to reply to every single comment, and I really love hearing from you. As mentioned earlier, I will leave a link below to a list I have of my top recommended get paid to sites on my website. You can check that out below. I will also leave a link where you can go and choose your country and find the best service sites for your specific country, because the best opportunities varies a lot depending on the country you're from. So you can check that out below if you want to know more. And finally, if this video helped you, please make sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.